It's like we get another Haas machine and we get more orders, which I'm going to keep testing that theory because it's worked out well so far. My name is Shaun Torrente. I'm owner and CEO of Paragon Performance Machine as well as STR products, and we're based here in Fort Myers, Florida. We make parts because we are either solving a problem or it's something that we're passionate about or that we think would be cool. So I've been racing boats since I was 12 years old, and now I race for Abu Dhabi and I race for Dubai in between, which made me really good at testing products. Is really where my start began in manufacturing and engineering. Going through that process, I started to develop products that really just fixed problems in our racing. You know, we needed better products in boat racing, whether it be for performance purposes first or just for reliability. And being that boat racing is obviously much smaller than car racing as a industry, it's hard to find someone that can both design and make products for you at a realistic cost, number one, and also have the passion to do it where you might not make any money when you make a part, you know. So I bought me a mini mill. It was, I don't remember the year, but it was an old one. It was one of the first ones. And put it in my garage. My poor wife and daughter had to listen to it all times of night and weekend. And made my first set of brackets that we needed for an offshore boat overseas, and we raced those for a year. And while I was working through that and just making other odds and ends parts. And from there, just kind of, like most things in life, just kind of took you in a direction. It was really cool. So the main product that we make is what we call an STR exact jack plate, or bracket. We prefer bracket, which is two plates moving on each other to adjust the engine height on an outboard powered boat. So it bolts to the transom, the engine bolts to that, and then you can adjust your engine height based on what your needs are, performance, loads. You know, fishing guys like to have two different settings when they're loaded down for fish and when they're wanting to go fast because they're in a tournament. There's all kinds of different stuff. And then in the performance world, believe it or not, an eighth or a quarter inch of engine height difference could be the difference between winning and losing. So we dial in those engine heights with my bracket. It has a patented lift system that's very precise and at the same time is very robust in that it holds the motor straight at all times. That's the main bread and butter of what we make. So like I said, when we first made that product, or when I first designed that product, it was twice the cost of any other jack plate on the market. A lot of my friends said that's too expensive, you're not going to sell it. And I was like, well, that's okay. What we're building is something that is high-end and something that is for extreme conditions. And it turned out that the first year when I bought that first mini mill that used one, I told my wife, if we can sell 10 to 12 of these, we'll pay for that machine in this year. And if we can just do that, we'll be good. And we built 60 out of my garage by myself that first year. And since then, every year in the last 4 years, it's doubled. Last year, we did just over 1,000 brackets. So our first mini mill, it was like 8 ops to do our motor plate, which is the largest part of the bracket. So then I spec'd out the mini mill 2, and we could, because the spindle hangs over, which is really cool on a Haas machine, a lot of machines don't do that, the spindle will come over the edge of the table, which is all the YTs will do that, and as well as the mini mill 2. And it worked great, and it went from 8 ops to 3 ops, which is huge, right? Because cycle time comes down, and we were able to keep up to do 60 or 70. Then I ordered that VF2 SSYT just for speed. We just need to put out more parts. It's like we get another Haas machine and we get more orders, which I'm going to keep testing that theory because it's worked out well so far. So a feature we love and that we use all the time, especially when we're developing new parts, is program restart. We do a lot of surfacing on parts, you know, multiple contours and things like that, so it has, you know, thousands and thousands of lines of code. And if you turn on that setting in your Haas machine, what's awesome about it is you can go right to a line in the middle of the code somewhere, and you can hit program, you can restart the program there and it won't crash. It'll bring the spindle all the way up. It'll go to that safely to that spot in line and then start cutting again. So you don't have to restart at the top of the tool, let it run air for 30 minutes to get back to the line you might need to fix or change. That saves us hours when we're developing a part. Now there's, on any given weekend, somewhere between probably 2,000 and 3,000 of our products on customers' pleasure boats with their families in them that are going over 100 miles an hour on the water. And I take that seriously. So that's really my, you know, that's my legacy. You know, I've won a bunch of stuff racing. It's been a really blessing in my life, all the racing that I've got to do, all the world championships I've got to win. But my lasting legacy will be the parts that come out of our shop that Haas helps us build.